On Ukraine, we're at the very early stage of the process. Europe must play its role. And I'm prepared to consider committing British forces on the ground.
The US and Donald Trump want peace between Ukraine and Russia, as well as a piece of the action. But what do the UK want under the audacious leadership of the new Churchill, Keir Starmer? War. We will fight them. We will fight them. I say we will fight them. You will fight them. I'm going to be in the gym working on these guys, the Widowmakers. Say hello to my little friends. We're going to be looking at Keir Starmer's fighting style and his claim that your sons and daughters, your loved ones, the bravest and best of you, should give their lives for what he believes in. Do you trust him that much? I don't. Let me know in the comments and chat. Rishi Sunak, former Prime Minister of the UK. He was the dude that was, he's Prime Minister, I know, 5 Prime Ministers and 6 months ago. Good to see Britain leading on this one. We must ensure that any peace in Ukraine is permanent, not just a pause in the Russian assault. As I said in Parliament last week, I told you, the government will have my support. Just like they all supported each other during the pandemic. Wasn't it curious? Keir Starmer backed Boris Johnson then. Because, of course, it was a global and globalist event. And when I say globalist, what I mean is centralised, unelected forces subverting the will of the people. No wonder we're seeing emergent nationalist populism opposing that, because if you're going to have a country, you're going to have a country. People don't want globalist control. Wouldn't it be lovely to have a planet where we all agree that ultimately we have a shared interest, that all of us have one God that loves us, that cares for us? That would be lovely. Let's try and head in that direction. In the meanwhile, let's not yield to deceptive bureaucratic interests that might as well be Satan. Britain braces for a $12 billion tax raid to fund defence spending. £12 billion is going to cost you, people of the UK. Are you all happy that your taxes go towards that? Are you happy that your taxes go towards funding the BBC, that's the licence fee that lie to you, that your taxes go towards funding an unwinnable war, and now it's going to cost the lives of brave and brilliant British people who value duty and sacrifice to the point that if you thought about it, it would make you cry, man. It would make you cry. Here's Keir Starmer. If you want to follow someone in a war, you want to know that they can punch their weight, right? That's what people used to say about, like, I don't know, Ulysses Grant, one of your great Civil War leaders, or George Washington, one of the founding fathers of your great nation, is them guys, they got stuck in there. Or Patton, or Monty, or Churchill, warlike leaders. Let's have a look if Keir Starmer has got the stones to back up his lyrics.
And just try and whack it. Yes, this is good. And again. That's it. And again. Try and breathe. Relax. That's it.
He actually doesn't understand the concept of punching. Like the concept of it, that is the sudden unleashing of energy through the fist and arm. I mean, you wouldn't even get to the point where you're saying, like, rotate through the hip or push off the back leg or rotate the knuckles. You'd have to say, what you're doing, that isn't called punching. Here he is giving a speech about how he wants your money and your beloved family members to die for his combinations, for his rabbit punch combos.
Good evening. I want to thank President Macron for convening us this evening. At stake is not just the future of Ukraine, it is an existential question for Europe as a whole.
It is an existential question, and this is that question. Do you believe that European forces should back Ukraine now that the US are saying that they are going to renegotiate the nature of their support for Ukraine? Are you willing for European nations and the US to part ways? Is that what you want? Because what is this West that we're claiming to support now? If you're saying that France and the UK and presumably some other European powers, even though Britain voted to leave the EU precisely because they didn't want their sovereignty subverted in the ways that it has been while members of the EU in a variety, myriad ways. Of course, people that are higher up the class ladder are like, but I can't go to France as easily. I can't get baguettes with the same level of comfort. But ordinary people are starting to question what the EU is all about. Let me know in the comments and chat. Do you think this is a good thing? Are you in the UK? Do you want to pay taxes for this? Do you want their hand in your pocket taking your money? Do you like Macron? Is that what you like? Do you feel that there's a way that European forces back in the UK could overcome Russia? Do you think that? And do you want to back that up with the lives of British troops? Let me know in the comments of the chat, because Keir Starmer believes that's the way to go. I don't know, man. I got a few doubts when I look at that guy. I got a lot of questions. I got questions. Have you got questions? Do you think with Trump saying we're going to negotiate a peace deal where we're going to continue our support in exchange for minerals, like the discourse is changing? They're meeting in Saudi Arabia now. Russian diplomats and US diplomats. Like the Europeans are saying, well, we're not doing that. You won't tell us what to do. Get David Tennant out to say that he's got a funny haircut. Is that all you got? Is that all you got? Man, you're in some serious trouble if you want to start separating from US, even if they are US imperialist interests in this matter. Pick a side, baby.
And therefore vital for Britain's national interest. This is a once-in-a-generation moment for the collective security of our continent. Only a lasting peace in Ukraine that safeguards its sovereignty will deter Putin from further aggression in the future.
Basing that on? What's that based on? Did you see when Tucker Carlson interviewed Putin? Did you get the idea that he is going to go on a colonial rampage, that he has some sort of supreme vision of Mother Russia that's going to expand? When has Russia ever actually done that? Under the Soviet Union, of course, there was a sort of a spread in many, what we regard as the Eastern Bloc, but the US imperialist and UK imperialist forces participated in that, in the carving up of the nation after the defeat of the Nazis, where the Russians and the Americans and the British fought together to liberate Europe, to end the horrors of the Holocaust. Now, I reckon there are deeper, ulterior narratives to investigate there, because I'm, not a naive person anymore. I've had the shit kicked out of me by life enough times now to know to not trust them on anything. And I don't trust them on this. Do you seriously believe that this is a once-in-a-generation moment where the UK and France have to part ways from the United States of America to support Ukraine in a war against Russia? Where is he? I hope at some point in this speech, in a minute, Keir Starmer's going to go, and we've got a plan. We've got a plan in the event that Putin uses nuclear weapons, particularly now that Putin and Trump are directly involved, it seems, in their own discourse, and might come up with some deal. And they might go, yeah, do what you want in Britain. Them guys are rude.
Now, recent statements by the US administration should not come as a surprise.
Makes me mad. It makes me mad enough to box. I should put on my gloves and I will fisticuff those Americans. Well, I won't. We'll get brave, brilliant young British lives squandered. But I'll tell you now, mate. I'll tell you, I had an AIDS test for a moment like this. I didn't put a Q-tip down my pee-hole for nothing. I didn't get I'm taking my jacket. I'm rolling my sleeves up. I'm pulling my skin back. I tell you, I don't care how many British kids die. This guy.
This is good. And again.
Free speech is under attack, but Rumble Premium refuses to back down. That's why you should use Rumble Premium. Support content creators like me, and him, and him, and him, and him. I'm going to say and her, but is there one? And her? Oh. That's good. And her. With major advertisers conspiring to pull their dollars, even brands like Dunkin' Donuts turned their back, claiming Rumble had a right-wing culture. We're not here to fit a mold. We're here to defend free expression. To strengthen this mission, we're excited to offer Rumble Premium, a completely ad-free experience with exclusive benefits. Grow up. For viewers and creators. It's more than a subscription. It's a stand for free speech. Your voice matters. Join Rumble Premium. For a limited time, you can get $10 off an annual plan using the promo code BRAND. Visit rumble.com/premium/brand and claim your discount today. Together we can turn the tide, whether you join Rumble Premium or simply keep watching. Your support helps keep free speech alive. Go to rumble.com/premium/brand and use the code BRAND to get $10 off.
President Trump has long expressed the wish for Europe to step up and meet the demands of its own security, that he wants to get a lasting peace agreement to end the war in Ukraine. So today's informal meeting of European leaders was a vital first step in responding to that challenge. On defence, it's clear the US is not going to leave NATO. But we Europeans will have to do more. The issue of burden sharing is not new, but it is now pressing. And Europeans will have to step up, both in terms of spending and the capabilities that we provide.
My God. Spending and capabilities. That's euphemism for our armed forces that you're funding. Your money. As Tony Benn said, if there's money to kill people, there's money to save people. Are you in the UK right now? Is it going well over there? You having a good time? It's going well, is it? You enjoy it? Do you want to spend some money on a war? Your money. Like when you go to work, you spend your life, your waking life, your sweat, your toil, your blood. You want to fund a war that guy thinks is a good idea. That guy. And also Rishi Sunak, the guy before him. Oh, and also Boris Johnson, the guy before him. Almost as if there's some sort of agenda that's able to traverse the political vicissitudes, isn't it? Like, oh, I vote for Boris Johnson. I get a war. I get to spend my taxes on a war between Ukraine and Russia. So I vote for Keir Starmer, and I get to spend my taxes, more taxes actually, on a war between Ukraine and Russia. Thank God for freedom, Lord. Thank God for the freedom of these Decepticons, to use the term from Transformers.
On Ukraine, we're at the very early stage of the process. Europe must play its role. And I'm prepared to consider committing British forces on the ground alongside others. This
is ridiculous, outrageous, appalling. If you're watching me on X right now, let me know on X. Are you English? Are you paying taxes? Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention? That's Keir Starmer, who you don't like anyway. That's Keir Starmer, Southpaw, the murder of them little girls. That's Keir Starmer, immigration. That's Keir Starmer, council tax. That's Keir Starmer. I had to have some vocal lessons during the pandemic when you lot were missing births and funerals and potentially taking medication that might be linked to a rise in cancer. Now he's got some big idea that we're going to depart from the United States of America and start backing Macron in a war against Putin. Are you serious? Are you serious? Let me know in the comments and chat what you think about that. You're going to back that guy? Let's have a look at him in the gym again. Let's have a look at him in the gym. This is who's talking to you. This is who wants your sons and daughters to die. This is who's the man that's got his hand in your pocket. Don't let them lead you into war. Don't let them charge you for their leadership. How dare they? These people are meant to be our servants, your servants. You sometimes will yield to leadership when you sense the aura of greatness, or at least robustness, or at least some kind of raw power. But these people, come on. You can't follow them into a war. Let me know what you think about that in the comments and chat.
If there is a lasting peace agreement, but there must be a US backstop, because a US security guarantee is the only way to effectively deter Russia from attacking Ukraine again.
Backstop. Now, don't use a cricket metaphor on the brink of a global war. A cricket metaphor, we need a backstop. I'll tell you what we're going to need against Putin and his nuclear arsenal, a wicket-keeper.
So I will go to Washington next week to meet President Trump and to discuss what we see as the key elements of a lasting peace. I spoke to President Zelensky on Friday, and will do so again in coming days. And we envisage a further meeting with European colleagues when I return from the US. In this moment, we have to recognise the new era that we are in, not cling hopelessly to the comforts of the past. It's time for us to take responsibility for our security, for our continent. And I've been clear today, Britain will take a leading responsibility, as we always have.
Ooh, you're hard, showing off.
People in England are actually sick and tired of the way their country is being run. People in Scotland, people in Wales, people in the North Part Island, they're sick and tired of how that dude's running their country. There's got to be some radical changes of focus. Never mind going around meeting Donald Trump and going to meet Zelensky. You focus on what's going on in the UK. People are deeply concerned about immigration. People are deeply concerned about rising crime. People are deeply concerned about their taxes. Agriculture is exploding into near perpetual protest in the streets of London because they're being charged a tax that's going to ruin their lives and their business model. You stay away from Washington, mate. Get yourself down London. Get yourself down London. Do your job. Do your job. There's a word of advice live from Mar-a-Lago, baby. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. What we're essentially discussing is a fissure between US interests and European interests, which in fact has revealed the trajectory of what we might call corporate globalism and its militaristic agenda, because they can no longer depend upon US support in the same way they could under Biden. So now there's maneuvering going on, and we're starting to see the true shape, the silhouette of global corruption exposed, the shadow on the wall, as well as the writing on the wall. You let me know who you back in the comments and chat if it comes to a war between Macron, Keir Starmer, and Vladimir Putin's almighty Russia. Or let me know if you might consider negotiating some sort of peace deal that allows dignity and sovereignty in some way for Ukrainian people and somehow helps that country to get back on its feet after this needless, senseless war that NATO certainly participated in the escalation of by inviting Ukraine to join in the first place and then facilitating ongoing breaches in territories that Putin declared untouchable. Maybe listen to that dude when he says there's a red line. I don't know. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.